dito na tayo. Let's discuss what is chemical reaction. Now, finally, so a chemical change is a transformation of one or more substance into new substance. With a chemical reaction is the process by which a chemical change happens. No? All chemical reactions are also accompanied by changes in energy. So there's a change in energy because there's a difference in the involvement of reactants and the resulting product. Okay? So other chemical reaction release energy in the form of heat, light, or sound, such as burning of wood in a campfire. Di ba pag nasusunog tayo ng kahoy, I don't know if you try, no? Kasi gasol na ngayon, electric na, the stove, di ba? Ganun yung mga ginagamit ngayon. But, if you somehow experience campfire, no, you will somehow hear this releasing of energy, no, through sound, no. Parang lagatik siya. I don't know what's the other term for that, but there's a sound, no, involved, or that is also happening, no, during the burning of wood. So chemical reactions happens at different rates. So some chemical reactions are fast, such as when rocket fuel burns. So in the movies, no, makita natin when a rocket na is launching, no. So of course, the chemical reaction must happen in a very short span of time, no, for us to lift, no, a heavy rocket, no, into the air. No? So there's a burning of fuel, which of course lead to a chemical reaction. Other chemical reactions happen slowly, no? Slowly naman, such as the formation of rust and a corroding bicycle chain. So if we leave our metal or bike without paint, no, just outside, exposed to the oxygen, so eventually there will be chemical reaction, but take note, slowly siya. Hindi siya na, pag once ilagay mo ang bike dyan, pagka tomorrow, rusty na yan lahat. It always start at the, at some parts, no? A rim, no? A rim ba tawag dyan, no? So sa rim mo na yung mag-start, hanggang magkalat siya na magkalat all throughout the parts of a bicycle. The chemical reaction in our own body, which are keeping you alive, are among the fastest chemical reactions known. No, so we have cellular respiration, no? That is one of the example of a reaction, no, in our body, which hindi lang chemical reaction yung nangyayari, no? There are a lot of chemical reaction that is still happening around our body, not just the cellular respiration. So there are four major factors for chemical reactions to occur. The first one is nature of reactant. The second one is temperature. The third one is particle size. And the fourth one is the catalyst. So the first one is nature of reactants. So chemical reactions involve in the breaking and making of chemical bonds, right? So I have already discussed that already. Some substances are very active while others are very stable. So we have here our gold and silver. Stable substances are those whose chemical bonds are so strong that it would require a very large amount of energy to separate the atoms, no? So much madali i-break, no, yung silver compared to gold. In contrast, reactive substances are those whose chemical bonds are not so difficult to break. So, however, a flash of lighting provides a large amount of energy to break up some, for example, nitrogen bonds, ganyan, or nitrogen-oxygen bonds. So, yeah. The second one is temperature. So, many chemical reactions occur at high temperature. No? So, in the laboratory, heat is often applied to reactants to produce new substances. So, in the kitchen naman, egg will not be cooked without heat. Cooking requires a high temperature to change many kinds of food into something edible, no? So cooking bread and pancakes. The third one is particle size. So chemical reactions occur faster when reactants collide well with one another. Atoms and molecules must collide with each other, no, to somehow make them bond and produce new substances. So take note, surface area is a key to faster reaction. So when you look at these two examples here, so we have our grind meat and the whole meat. No, not really whole, but a chopped one, not so not so little, not chopped. So eventually, so you can see here, mas madali ito maluto, right? This one, mas madali ito siya maluto compared to this. No? So that's the, the meaning when surface area is the key to faster reaction. The fourth one is the catalyst. No? So a catalyst is any product which speeds up a reaction. It is not a reactant, but it provides an easier route for the reaction to happen. So a catalyst can be recovered after the chemical reaction. So the conversion of oxygen O2 to O3 in the ozone layer is made faster by the chlorine atoms released from the chlorofluorocarbons. That's the reason why chlorofluorocarbons are what do you call this, not good, no, since it changes the oxygen composition, no, in our atmosphere. Again, chemical reactions are used in many ways in daily life, as what you have witnessed, no, on our previous slides, no. So such as it did not happen, no, in the laboratory. It is not limited in the laboratory, but it happens all around us, inside our body, outside, and everywhere. Not too many to mention. So scientists are constantly working to find new kinds of chemical reaction in order to produce new substances with useful properties. So in pharmaceutical industry, no, so this is what they are doing. They are experimenting on different chemicals in order for them to what do you call this? To produce, no, new medicine, no, for illnesses, no, that incurable, that are still incurable as of this moment. So we are done talking about chemical reaction. So let's proceed with chemical equation. So chemical equation is just it is just basically what is really happening inside that chemical reaction. We will gonna be talking about numbers. For example, 2 oxygen, 2, so there will be numbers, no, that are involved, which will result, with a product that has number as well. So in a chemical reaction, one or more reactants change into one or more products. That is represented by chemical reaction equation. So these are symbolic representation of chemical processes that use standardized notation to communicate information in an efficient manner. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? So ang ating chemical equation, it really follows, no, a general form. So we have our reactant on the left side, no, if you look at the screen, and product naman on the right side. So all chemical reactions are involved in the conversion of starting materials called reactants, no, into new substances called the product. So the products have different properties than the reactant. The new reaction may produce substances with different colors or states. So again, one example is rusting. One example, no, so in a piece of solid magnesium, so this one right here, this is a solid magnesium, is placed in a solution of hydrochloric acid, this liquid right here. bubbles of hydrogen are formed, as well as aqueous magnesium chloride. So again, we have our solid magnesium, no? S here is for solid, and hydrochloric acid. So we have two compounds of hydrochloric acid, which is in aqueous solution. We're gonna get, no, a magnesium chloride and a bubbles of hydrogen, no? Yan. So this is an example of reactant product, no, or a chemical reaction, no, specifically, no, the chemical equation. Let me play this one. So this is the actual, no, na nangyayari during involving magnesium and the hydrochloric acid. So this is our solid magnesium right here, and this is the hydrochloric acid. So the bubbles right there is the hydrogen, and of course magnesium chloride is formed as well. Yeah. So later it will somehow dissolve, no? Dissolve, madidissolve talaga siya onto the hydrochloric acid. Yan. Yan. Okay? So, we also have candle lighting. No? So, ang reactant natin dito is, of course, we have our wax and oxygen from the air, right? So, we cannot make fire, diba, without oxygen, no? The fire triangle. And, of course, our product here, carbon dioxide and so in a chemical reaction, atoms in the reactants combine in new and different ways to form the molecules of the product. So again, ulitin ko. So we have our wax and oxygen from the air. And of course, the source of light, no? Like the matchstick. Ang product natin will be carbon dioxide, which floats here, no, on the air. Just floats here in the air. And of course, the water vapor and some wax. No? So of course, this wax part right here, it is somehow involved, no, in the physical change. So wax is made of long molecules called paraffin, and that paraffin is made up of only carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms bonded together. Molecules made of only carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. So here is our chemical equation, no, for this video. So we have our methane, no, our paraffin, no, and of course we have two molecules of oxygen, no, and the resulting product is carbon dioxide and the water molecules. So will the candle still burn if one of the reactants, wax or oxygen, is no longer available? Ooh, what do you think so? No, maglalight pa kaya? So let's see on this video. Will one of the candles go out? One with the glass, or the other one without? Why? Why kaya sa tingin mo? Oh, so as what you can see, as what you notice, the other, or the one, no, with which is covered with a glass, no, removing, no, one of the reactant, which is the oxygen, no, is hindi naging successful, no, namatay siya yung kanyang ilaw. Okay? Placing a jar over the candle limits the amount of oxygen in the air around the candle. So without oxygen to react with the wax, the chemical reaction cannot take place and one candle cannot burn. So the candle burns for a while, it eventually gets smaller and smaller. So where does the candle wax go? When a candle burns, the candle wax, no, seems to disappear. No, it doesn't really disappear. It reacts chemically, and the new products go into the air. No, the carbon dioxide and the water vapor as well. Next, no, is the balancing